At 5 Eyewitness News, you told us that fraud and wasted money are important to you, and that's why we're going after it. I'm Kevin Dorn, and every day 5 Eyewitness News is following the money in your neighborhood, asking the tough questions, looking out for you, and uncovering fraud with your tax dollars. We're listening, and we're working hard to protect your money. Watch and see the difference on 5 Eyewitness News.
Mishke here, joining the GL world to pitch my new podcast, which now comes out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. The show features an extraordinary array of exotic circus performers, forgotten Hollywood starlets, reclusive Fortune 500 CEOs, professional taxidermists. Yep, wait a minute, that's a different promo. Where's the promo for GLers? Here it is. Let's try this again. Mishke here, pitching my new podcast. We're out of time? Could I do it again?
Friday. Yeah. Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1651, October 31st, 2025. 83 degrees was the record high on this day. That was on Halloween in 1950. That's our last 80 of the recorded year, or the last recorded 80 of the year. 15 degrees in 1878. It was on this day in 1991
we got some snow
that we had only 8 inches of snow. It was the next day that we had more than 15 inches of snow, and the weekend became known as the Halloween blizzard. Do yourself a favor and call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Let the festivities begin. It's Fun Friday on Halloween. We ain't got no snow. All we got is dough. You know?
And now,
best of luck. I don't know.
Above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake.
Oh, there's no stopping.
It's Garage Logic.
I mean, he's got a bandana.
Manning Technology Corner. Kenny Olson.
He's ready for war.
Krabby Coffee Shop. John Heidt in the newsroom. And of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Many wonderful notes about Marjorie Johnson, the great living American who died yesterday at the age of 106. She was completely alert the day before, so Marjorie went out the way that
she wanted to go.
Most people would love to go out. Here's one from Greg, who writes, if it hasn't been brought up yet, we need a statue of Marjorie on the fairgrounds. Let's do this. Well, I agree. It has been brought up. A statue's a good idea because it wouldn't be terribly, it wouldn't take much.
Right. You wouldn't need a lot of material.
It was 4 feet 8. Steve Wilson said that they had the good fortune of meeting Marjorie back in 2016. We offered to bring her some fresh crappies, and she graciously invited Julie and me to her home in Robbinsdale. This was right after our meeting at the GL State Fair in 2016. She and Marlene would enjoy them baked with olive oil so they weren't so fattening, I guess, because, Marjorie was a health nut.
Yeah, well, that's why she lived so long.
We sat in her living room chatting after our tour of her modified kitchen. It was lovely. Don't think for a second that she wasn't in tune with politics. She was not a fan of Trump, who was gaining popularity, and was deeply concerned with the nastiness that our country seemed to have embraced. She had stacks of unread newspapers that she intends to read and felt our country had just gotten too mean. Even though we were not fans of Obama, Marjorie's voice of reason... Oh, God dang it.
A crying emoji.
Yeah, here we go here. She was not a fan of Trump, who was gaining popularity. It was deeply... Okay. Even though we were not fans of Obama, Marjorie's voice of reason humbled us. She was on to something. What a sweet lady and a treasure in Minnesota history. We loved our time with her. May God welcome her spirit and enjoy the ginger snaps. Steve and Julie Wilson. He might be referring to a time with the ginger snaps that Leno sent Marjorie to be his correspondent at a biker fest in Las Vegas.
Sure. Sweet.
And as only Marjorie could do, she was the star of this. She's surrounded by 6'5", 300-pound guys, and she gives a ginger snap to one of them, and he dunks it in his Jack Daniels. And she said, I'm not sure that anyone's ever dunked a ginger snap in Jack Daniels. Is that water you're drinking?
Sure.
And
mixed with my saliva.
She saw some girls who were really scantily clad.
Oh, boy.
You could see their buttocks.
Yeah.
And Marjorie said, "Oh, don't they have underwear on?" And it was just all the
Charming.
stuff you can't make up. It was just wonderful. And here's a note from Eric. He sent her to do a remote reporting in places where she was a fish out of water. The best was when he sent her to a biker rally in Vegas. She offered a ginger snap to a 300-pound biker, and he proceeded to dunk it in his Jack Daniels before giving her a nod of approval. Marjorie was in top form and had quick comebacks for the bikers that day.
Yeah.
Always wonderful. It was wonderful.
Go ahead, Rick.
I did get a message from Steve, and he said, I did see your picture yesterday with the tin. What a great pic. Just to let you know, Marjorie's last words were, please get that tin back from Joe.
Probably.
He did not say that. I made that up.
Of course she did.
Right.
That's going into
They
the
may
GL.
have been the last words from her.
That's
She wrote
going
her name on masking tape on all her tins because she wanted them back.
Right. Sure. But that's going to the GL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's good. We have a Hall of Fame.
Before you move on, I feel as though I owe it to the Garage Logic audience.
Don't play that.
Oh, no. I think we have to. I think you've been outvoted. Gentlemen, it was August 23rd of 2018. This was our last appearance out at the Minnesota State Fair as a radio show.
What year?
2018, Joe. 2018. And, of course, Marjorie, as she did almost every single year, kicked off the festivities at the State Fair. It would have been that first Thursday. And she did not fail in any way to entertain the masses. The best is when you listen to Joe trying to explain to Marjorie what a podcast is. Here we go.
Sushere.
Holy mackerel. Everybody get ready to sing here in a moment. We can't start a fair and haven't started a fair since fair number 1 without Marjorie Johnson.
Right away, yeah.
Now, Marjorie, I know you don't like to discuss birthdays.
Yeah.
You like to keep that quiet.
Yeah.
But she had a birthday, August 8th.
No, August 9th.
August 9th, all right? I got bad information.
Close.
August 9th, and I won't say how old you are because
Yeah.
you don't like that.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson was in his seventh year of his presidency, the year Marjorie was born. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
You'll have to triangulate the numbers if you do.
Yeah.
Why would you want to? She's very young.
Next year is going to be the big year.
You know,
And you aren't even going to be here.
what's next year?
No, isn't this year your last year for the fair?
Yes.
Marjorie?
Yes.
Hang on. Not so fast, Marjorie. Hang on, right? Not so fast, right? Let's see what happens next year.
and
The
listen.
show's not stopping.
Oh, listen, last year
Right.
it was our 25th year, and
I thought this year was.
No, it was last year because you gave me this. You gave me this medal last year.
You got that medal for being you. That medal wasn't for the 25th year. You were the first recipient of the Garage Logic Medal of Freedom last year.
I thought, are you sure? Because you 73, 74, let's see, 73, 74, 65, 67,
93.
Are you sure that wasn't the 25th?
I know I'm bad at math, but we were here with you in 1993. Doesn't that make this the 25th year?
No.
Thank you, Jim.
No.
What?
This is the 26th
It's
appearance.
the 26th year.
Marjorie is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in April of 93, you would have been here at the Minnesota State Fair. That was your first appearance. So you're going on your anniversary date, which you cannot do.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. I didn't get a picture.
You didn't get a picture?
Of you and I and this. So I want to put it on my Facebook.
Yep.
So Here, I bought my camera, my own camera
we'll do it
this time. Yeah.
All right, Marjorie, you were the first recipient of the Medal of Freedom, and last year those medals were awarded to Doris Mold, the Lake Detective, Dave Dahl, the late, great Monty, Greg Holcomb, and Jerry Hammer, and there will be some an additional award coming up shortly here at the...
Yeah, and I got mine because we had been together 25 years. Yeah. Oh, I understand this 26th is going to be our last one.
That's it.
I wonder what will happen to all those fellows that have been listening to you way since 93. They're not going to like it one bit.
Okay, Marjorie.
What?
The show will be available as a podcast.
Oh.
Can I look at your phone?
Yeah. I don't know what a podcast is.
I know, but you might have the icon here. Well, look
it.
at Marjorie doesn't trust anybody. The security ID check-in on the phone.
Okay.
But we'll explain it to you. We'll explain it to you.
Plus, Marjorie has people.
Now it's there.
Okay.
Marjorie, you have a cast of characters that go around, tour the country with you. They will be able to describe it to you or do it for you, so you will have no problems at all.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have the little icon on your phone, but you can get it. And I want to thank Doug, my flashlight guy, every year at the fair. Look at this lighting I got this year.
I know a lot of GLers, Joe, are surprised that a tech wizard like yourself couldn't figure that out on that phone.
Oh, are you still going to be on?
Yes.
I thought this is the last year at the fair. Again.
This is the last year at the fair. It is not the last year for the radio show. It'll become a podcast. And you can listen to it anytime you want.
Oh, I see.
All right, bring your microphone down a little. There you go. Now, are you competing this year at the fair, Marjorie?
Some in the honey, and I did win some ribbons, but I want to talk about you because I will miss seeing you at the fair every year from now on. Yeah. So that was a big deal to come here and see you. Yeah.
Well, it skyrocketed you to international fame.
Yeah, right.
Well, think of what you did on national television and all the shows you were on.
And you know, I was going to bring this article and I left it. This shows how far behind I am. When I want to save something, read it, I clip it out. I found an article of you written in 2006, and you were building a house. Rebuilding your house.
I would not have written. I didn't write about that.
Yeah, CJ wrote about you.
Well, yes.
Yeah, right. And she said you were building this great big house, and you were using a lot of the furniture from the other house.
And it was
Are you still living there?
It was right on 7th Street, wasn't it?
Is that Upper?
Is it 428? 428 Cambridge.
South Main.
There you go. Yeah, right.
Yes, we are still living there, Marjorie. Yes.
Oh, she said it was like a mansion.
No, not
Jeez. You know what? Why not? It's our last.
What? Who cares?
I have a question for you,
What?
Marjorie. Yeah. This article you're referring to, did it mention how much he made a year?
No, but he said
figure that out for
she
years.
is trying to pin him down how much it costs. So she said, I think it's going to be $1 million.
I don't think so.
I'm sure with the CP it was probably very affordable with the CP. She doesn't.
What about the garage? Was it big enough to park his 3 limos?
Have you got a 3-car garage?
You're welcome, Joe.
Kenny Olson at the fair, everybody.
He can really do the math.
Well, now there's only the 2 of you living there, right? Because aren't your children grown?
They are, and
I've visited there, Marjorie, and sometimes I wonder if it's just the 2 of us.
There's a lot of little kids that still hang around.
Oh, really? Because you got grandchildren?
Yes. 9.
Did you want to know some of the other amenities at the house? They got a sidewalk, they got a dishwasher, a really nice washer and dryer.
There's our friend Sue. Sue was the first contributor to the quarter bucket from the 1960s.
So you got that out there. Nice, very
All
nice.
that money goes to MD, and it gets
Nice
to be about
segue.
$500-600 at the end of the fair. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I'm speaking out of school either, thinking that I think in a year from now, the technology on the podcast would probably allow us to broadcast from the fair.
What's wrong with you?
And for those of you that are maybe aspiring radio people, what the mayor just did there was a solid left turn to change the subject.
I was going to tell you, if you ever get another talk show, I'd like to be the first guest.
Okay, that's a deal. That's a deal. That's a deal. That's a deal. Would you like to do the honors of draping this GL Medal of Freedom medal around the neck?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Your call.
You want to do that when we come back?
That's enough. Yeah, when we come back, there's someone in the crowd.
God bless Mark. Audio manna from heaven.
As I said to Joe about an hour ago, only one person on the planet could have got away with that, and it was Marjorie.
I don't think it was that big of a deal. I just,
God.
What did your newspaper guy Red say? God is good?
God is good.
God is good.
Yeah. Are you going to talk to Jim Rubin?
I am in text communication with him. We'll probably call him in the next segment.
Jim Rubin was a principal guest of Rick Capcella in the
A Precarious State.
A Precarious State documentary. A great property owner in Minneapolis. People, he was a good guy.
Yep.
And he felt driven out of business by the DSA ideology and what was taking place in Minneapolis. And we thought we'd touch base with him just briefly today to see if he has any words of wisdom for the people going to the polls. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. In the meantime, I have to pick up. I wanted to touch base with John Heidt, who's back. He had a visit to North Dakota. He's back. And yesterday and today, the record temperatures were both from 1950, including on this day in 1950, the record high of 83 degrees. And I just, as has been our custom, I just wondered if John could go into his newspaper vault. He has a great newspaper vault. And find, were we hysterical? Were we worried, John, that the oceans were melting? Or?
No hysteria. I did look on the 30th and the 31st. The 30th, basically, all it had, the Star, Minneapolis Star, had a small story that, it's going to be record-breaking temps, no big deal. Yeah. Then the Star Tribune that day said the weather was fine except for everyone but the firemen, because apparently a lot of leaf fires, 21 fires.
We could still burn them in the street in those days.
Yep. But then the 31st, the story's got a little better. Minneapolis Star.
Yeah.
I didn't understand this headline as a newspaper guy for a long time. Maybe you can explain this to me grammatically. The headline says, and it was just a tiny, small story on the front page on the bottom, and you remember how big the front pages were. They had, 15 stories. Yeah. This was just a tiny one on the bottom. But the headline was, "Can't say we expected this to last, anyway."
All right.
I found odd wording. But
it
that
is
was a small story.
But that was the evening paper. Nobody cared.
Then the Star Tribune, the headline was, "High of 83 breaks record. Which dons shorts today?"
Yep.
And the story that was in there was just a small story talking about the records. At the bottom of the story, it said not everyone, though, is thinking of the heat. For instance, in Richfield, they ordered all the rock and salt that they'll need to get ready to drive on the roads in winter.
Sure.
And then the reason that headline, "Which dons shorts today," down at the bottom of the story, at 4259 Sheridan Avenue North, someone getting ready for winter, or maybe a witch, stole 14 pair of the type of underclothing that keeps ladies warm in wintertime. That's their wording, not mine.
Yeah.
But those are the only mentions of weather in either paper those 2 days.
Well, it sounds to me like it was just accepted as a routine part of life.
Correct.
And we were lucky enough to get an 83 on 2 days in a row back at the end of October in 1950.
Yep.
I personally don't remember it. Not that I should. I'm not that old, but that was in my time. But no one was predicting the end of the world. And, of course, on this day in 91, the 8 inches of snow. And the next day, I believe the 31st in 1991 was also on a Friday.
I will look that up.
Why don't you look on the calendar? Because I believe it was either a Friday or a Saturday. Because I believe the weekend travel was pretty well shut down in the metro for the Halloween blizzard, because it was 15 inches of snow on November 1st. But it seems to me that Halloween was on a Friday.
Halloween in 91 was on a Thursday.
On a Thursday, okay. Okay.
Oh, you know what? You're right, because we got out of school the next day. I remember waiting around listening for that.
Yeah, because the next day, Friday, November 1st, was the day the blizzard really hit.
And we went snowmobiling, trick-or-treating. It was fantastic.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Whenever I think of the Halloween blizzard, I think of poor producer Lauren Davis, who was stuck at the radio station overnight and thought he was going to starve to death, so he broke into the candy machine. He broke the glass on the candy machine thinking
Didn't he have any money?
Well, you couldn't order pizza, or you couldn't.
No, didn't he have any money to put in the candy machine?
I'm sure he ran out after, maybe 4 a.m.
Oh, maybe that's it, yeah.
He was facing the disclosure of his SNAP EBT benefits saying, I got to eat.
I need to eat.
Can I give you a different take on the SNAP benefits? Because my eyes have been opened. 40 million Americans.
43.
43 million? 43 million. It doesn't even sound like America, does it?
Nope.
43 million Americans rely on, let's just call them what they are, food stamps. Right? 40,000 Minnesotans or 400,000?
And I believe the number is, I'm willing to be corrected, I believe it's 59% of that 43 million are not legal citizens.
Really? But I have a new take on it. Let's just limit it to Minnesota.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's establish the number. John Heidt, how many Minnesotans receive SNAP benefits? It's either 40,000 or 400,000.
All I saw was the national
454,000? Gabe just shown it to me. Never mind.
Okay, got it.
454,000 Minnesotans?
You think there might be some fraud there, bud?
I'm not even thinking that. I'm trying to keep my mind clean.
Okay, I do
fraud.
know.
Well, here's another take on this. Would there be 454,000 people in Minnesota dependent on food stamps if this state was competently governed?
No.
If the taxes were lower, if the jobs were more plentiful, if entrepreneurs were welcomed, if on and on and on and on. Because that's a number that apparently...
It's just not going to work. It's not sustainable.
454,000 Minnesotans.
I'd like to know the number of that 450,000 are here in this country legally.
How much could...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
What did you use for a number, Chris, for illegal immigrants, you said?
43.1 million people in this country receive SNAP benefits.
Correct.
Mike and I broke this down, I can't remember if it was yesterday or Tuesday.
No, but you just used a number.
59% of those recipients are not in this country legally.
Where did you get that? Because I'm seeing 17.
No, it's John, I promise you.
Yeah, but where do you get it from?
It was data from the government website. I'll try to find it because I have it saved in my email. It's 59.1%.
Well, this is also from the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Okay, I'll try to find it.
Let's put that aside and just agree that there are probably people receiving benefits
that shouldn't be.
Right. Let's stick to this idea that if the state hadn't blown an $18 billion surplus, if more than $1 billion hasn't gone out the window to fraud, if the government hasn't grown so exponentially, wouldn't that in many ways have benefited the population of this state to the point where you probably wouldn't have 454,000 people needing help getting food?
Dependent, yeah, for sure.
This state has been so incompetently governed under Walz and his administration, none of whom have been held up to consequences. It's just incredible. It'd be interesting to know how many people in Minnesota, could we find this, John? How many people in Minnesota received needed food stamps in 2015? Can we find that, I wonder?
There was a number I saw in 2019.
If it's the same as your other number,
no, John. I've been spending all week looking at this stuff.
You're going to have to read it to me, Gabe. I can't.
What
How about we do this?
Just a minute. I have a guy looking this up. Calm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
2015 was 496,000.
That's more than today.
That's more than today. Yeah.
That is more than today.
When was it ever 100,000?
100,000 is not on the list.
How about, I'll take 200,000.
200,000 was in 2000. There was 196.1, which is the lowest number since 1989.
All right.
Wow.
I have nothing for you because I'm awaiting urgent bulletin breaking news from the Center of the American Experiment, so you may go right ahead.
Let's talk about We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. You know what? A locally owned and family owned operation, and they are the absolute best. And if you're in charge of your corporate holiday gifting this year, then listen up. Don't be the person that hands out boring gifts this year. Be the hero that sends out wonderful gifts from We Are Nuts MN. Locally roasted, family owned, and dangerously good. Their corporate gift tins are fresh, festive, and also unforgettable. Whether you're thanking clients, rewarding employees, or just spreading holiday cheer, then they have got you covered. Here's how easy it works. Just visit wearenutsmn.com. You download the corporate gifting catalog. It's right there on the homepage. You pick your tins, cashews, mixed nuts, chocolate almonds, hokey pokey popcorn, even the famous 4. You send them your gift list, and then they're going to pack, personalize, and ship each tin, even with custom enclosure cards featuring your company's logo and also your personal message. There's no endless forms. There's no box taping marathons. You just call, email, or visit the site, and they're going to handle the rest. wearenutsmn.com, or call them directly at 612-781-6596. And again, if you want those sent out by Christmas, you got to get your order in by November 14th. wearenutsmn.com or 612-781-6596.
This is Reusse. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and the Garage Logic podcast. With summer coming on, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 and book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did meet with Josh, and tell him that Reusse sent you.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
If you are looking for a ray of hope on this Halloween day, look no further than Minnesota's Freemasons. For a couple of years now on GL, I've been letting you know all the great things Minnesotans Freemasons have been doing. They do really good stuff, like donating over $6 million annually to support cancer research, aging studies, and children's communication disorders. You know, there's over 8,000 Freemasons throughout Minnesota. They're working together to make a world a better place by focusing on the core values of friendship. Stuff we talk about here on Garage Logic, personal development, and helping those in need. Minnesota Masons, they also give away dozens of scholarship each year to tomorrow's leaders. This year, they will give out over $900,000 in student scholarships for 2025 to date. Masonic Charities have given out over $13 million in total scholarships. It's a pretty big number, 13 mil. That's why we're such a great fan of Minnesota's Freemasons, donating their time and talents to foster the next generation of business and civic leaders. If you want to learn more about Freemasonry, and I hope you do, their scholarship programs or just upcoming events, visit mnfreemasons.org. That's mnfreemasons.org, Joe.
Thank you. Are we going to talk to Jim Rubin?
Yep. Just give me a second. I'll call
Well,
him
let me
right
tell
now.
you this while you're getting Jim. A lot of people get food stamps. There.
Okay. That's fine. And Danny,
And I was just wondering if a better governed state would reduce the number, but it sounds like Walls inherited a bleep load of people getting food stamps. Certainly hasn't done anything to reduce that, but he inherited that number.
with the fraud that you've covered over the past 2-3 years, I really wonder how many people are receiving it that don't direly need it. We don't want anybody to go hungry.
I don't know.
Did I take your chair there? I'm sorry.
Good. No, you did, but that, you know what?
Okay.
You know what? That's okay.
It's okay on Halloween. You're willing to give it?
That's fine.
Just so I don't kick your ass in
That's
this
fine.
outfit.
Is Jim Rubin joining us? Jim, the star of Precarious State. Hello, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good. Real briefly, you were featured prominently in Precarious State, and what we learned is that it had become difficult for property owners, apartment owners to do business. So far, so good?
Yep, you are correct.
In fact, to the point where you're in the process of selling your dwellings. Is that correct?
I am in the process of selling. That's correct.
What advice, Jim, would you give voters in Minneapolis going to the polls Tuesday?
Well, you've heard me say this before. This coming Tuesday, November 4th, is an election for the mayor, all city council members, and all the park board. And it's obviously a very important election because we need to get the city back on track. So, number one, do your homework to make sure you know who to vote for. We mentioned the website, allofmpls.org.
Right.
That lists the good candidates and who you should vote for. And then also make sure you get your significant other, your spouse, your family, your friends, your neighbors, as many people out to vote. And particularly for your listeners, if there's any, of course, Republicans out there, don't sit this one out. We need their help, right? We need their help to vote for the good guys on this election. So if we get enough people, because this is an off-year election, you generally have lower voter turnout. If we get higher voter turnout, if we get higher participation, that works in our favor. The more people that get out to vote, the more we think that helps us. And so enough people participating in this election will help turn the corner.
Weren't many of your properties located in Ward 10, Asia Chugtai?
Yeah, I'm in Wards 6, 7, and 10. And primarily, though, 10 has been the main place. That's where my office is, and that's where most of my properties have been, which you're correct. That's in the Aisha Chugtai ward.
And a woman named Lydia Millard is running in 10. And it sounds like she might be more amenable to common sense than Chugtai.
Yes, I mean, if you watched the documentary, if you've heard some of the stories, Councilmember Chugtai has, not been very helpful, to say the least. I always point out a couple of things. There was an interview that John Stoffel did with Aisha Chugtai about 3 years ago. It's about a 5-minute, 6-minute video on the internet. If you watch that, you get a very good indication for her line of thinking. And unfortunately, a year or two ago, there was an officer, Officer Mitchell, was shot and killed in the line of duty in her neighborhood.
Right.
And her kind of post-mortem publication, she didn't mention that fact. In fact, I think the big point she tried to get across was that the police had their tape up for too long and they hung around too long. Right. She didn't even mention the fact of an officer's death. And this is the kind of council member she's been, very unaccessible, unresponsive. And I guess at the bottom line, at the end of the day, I just tell people drive through Uptown. That's primarily her responsibility. She's now been elected twice. She's been in office for 4 years. You can see the results we have just by driving through Uptown.
Right.
And if nothing else, you just say, hey, the results speak for themselves. Let's get somebody in who's an effective leader. Even regardless of your political affiliation, your belief system, we all want a safe, vibrant neighborhood, and we don't have that.
In Ward 7, Elizabeth Schaefer could be Katie Cashman's undoing if people wake up.
Yeah, so Elizabeth Schaefer, I've known her for a while now. She was on the park board. She did a spectacular job on the park board. Lifelong, Minneapolis resident, and so very good candidate, lots of good experience. Is running a great campaign. Katie Cashman is, again, kind of similar to Aisha Chugtai. Just if you look at her votes and you look at the results of how her neighborhood looked today, it's not in great shape. One little interesting anecdote I tell people about Katie Cashman is, you recall the documentary Precarious State, right?
Yes.
And you recall the gunfight that was in there and how crazy that was?
Yes.
When that first happened, I went to the city of Minneapolis and played it for city officials, kind of, just for a select few to show them how bad things were, to see if I can get their help. And Katie Cashman saw the video, Jamal Osman saw the video, mayor's office, some MPD officers. So we showed the video, and they saw that happen. About 1 or 2 months after seeing the video, they went through the budgeting process. And in the budgeting process, Katie Cashman, I think, voted 5 or 6 times to pull money from the police department.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about this, I'm like, who would watch that video and then turn around and cut money from the police budget?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Katie Cashman, right, that's what she did. So, again, the results speak for themselves. So Katie Cashman, if you look at her voting record, she votes along with the DSA. And so Elizabeth Schaefer would be a nice improvement.
And finally, what do you think will happen to the city of Minneapolis if Omar Fateh gets elected? What do you see? What is your reasonable speculation for the next 4 years?
If Omar Fateh were to win the mayorship, I mean, of course, a lot of things are going to happen. If you just look at his policies, defund the police, rent control, regulations, you clearly are going to have. It's going to be a bad environment for businesses and property owners. And it's already true. I tell people this already today. There are a lot of investors, a lot of investment groups, a lot of kind of wealthy, large companies that are not investing in the city of Minneapolis already. If Omar Fateh wins, of course, they're going to continue to not invest in our city. In fact, you'll see more people leave. On the flip side, if Mayor Fry wins and we get a good city council, I think you're going to see investment start to pick back up again in Minneapolis. This is a common conversation I have on a daily basis as I'm selling my properties. Of course, I'm talking to investors and people who are buying properties. We talk about this every day, is people are waiting to see if Minneapolis can get good leadership. And obviously when you're talking about somebody running on again, an anti-police, anti-business platform, that doesn't help. So for me personally, it would be tough, right? I don't think I'd be able to sell. I'd have to stick around for a lot longer, and we would just have to, buckle on our seatbelts and try to survive through his tenure. Having said all that, I am hopeful. I think the Mayor Fry did a great job with his campaign, and I'm hopeful that people are going to show up and vote, and we're not going to go down that path. It would be very bad. Bottom line, it would be terrible for the city. And everybody knows that.
If Fry wins and some city council seats win to bring in some common sense people grounded in reality, I get the impression you would reinvest in the city.
Well, actually, no. So I'm leaving for a variety of reasons. A lot of them are personal. So I've been doing this a long time. I'm getting old. My bones are starting to creak. So I'm looking at just going and trying to have some fun and relaxing on the beach. So I'm on a direction that's committed. Having said that, though, you're on the right track. If Mayor Fry wins and the city council switches so we can see that non-DSA members are running the show, again, I'm telling you, people are, investors and developers, these are very smart people and they do their homework. If they see that, they believe that the city is going to start going the right way, there will actually be an influx in investment, because what happens is you have that buyer saying, oh, the city's going to start getting better. I better buy now before the price rises. Mm-hmm. Or you get a small business that says, wait a second, I better sign that retail space. I better sign that lease before the rents start rising. And you will see that happen. People have no idea how much money is sitting on the sidelines waiting for the city to get good leadership. And if they see that we get good leadership, I think you're going to see a difference the morning of November 5th. It's going to be that quick that people are going to see that this is going to be on the right track. We talk about this all the time. If you get good leadership in place, it will turn around. And you've heard me say this before. We still have the lakes, we still have the event, we still have the sports teams, we still have the parks, we still have so many great things. The reason people are not investing in their businesses and investing in property here is because of leadership. And that's on the right track, that'll turn it around.
When we visited with you initially, the main takeaway I got from you is that this all also must start with public safety.
Yeah, the city has a lot of challenges. And, in the DSA, they could pass some really crazy things, but all of that is trumped by safety. you can't have. I've learned the hard way. You cannot even have a community, period, without safety.
Right.
If people don't feel safe, you don't have a community. People don't live there. 19th and Nicola is a good example. I mean, I can show you the several boarded up buildings that we have in the neighborhood because of crime, and they're slowly adding. We're slowly boarding up buildings one at a time. So you can't have any. You can't. So it's interesting when I hear people talk about what society should we have, or what should be our focus. I'm like, it's a moot point unless you have safety. If you don't have safety, people don't come into your community. They don't want to live there. They won't come to visit your businesses. Businesses don't want to be there. Property values will drop. The only ones that'll be there are the bad guys, of course, if you don't have safety. So safety is paramount, and that is the biggest issue of the day. I think it's a winning issue for the good guys because the DSA on their platform, they want to defund the police. That's part of their platform.
Right.
And so I think this is a winning issue that affects so many citizens in the city. So many citizens have been affected by crime, and they can feel it and see it every day, and it's real. It's not pie in the sky. And so I think that it is the most important issue, and I think maybe the one that'll push the good guys over the edge. And of course, the documentary worked hard to highlight this fact.
Were you, like me, somewhat amused at the response to Precarious State? If the Star Tribune wrote one, they must have had 3 or 4 pieces where they're expressing kind of this fall outrage that they didn't know who paid for it. They never once questioned one of the facts that was presented in Precarious State, but to kind of display a sheen of journalism, they were, we demand to know who paid for this. What difference does it make who paid for it? What difference does it make? They couldn't contest one fact of it.
Yep. Well, and I don't know if you caught it, but in one of those articles, I was actually interviewed, and they contacted me because I think they thought I funded it.
Right.
And I made that clear I did not. And it was an interesting conversation because the reporter actually got almost upset. Like, well, Jim, don't you care? Like, isn't that important? I'm like, no. Actually, no. You know what's important is the message.
Yes.
The message was important. I did the documentary because I wanted to tell the story. I want the public to know what's really happening. I want them to know the truth.
Right.
What's happening on the street.
Right.
Who funded it? That never crossed my mind that was an important part of this discussion. So they did really push hard on it. And you're right. It's interesting that they fixated on that so much. It's fair maybe ask the question, but why do 3 different articles on it?
Oh, it was just almost comical.
It was. And to your point, and at the same time, not really disputing anything that was in the movie.
There's nothing to be disputed.
Yeah. We've heard some, and there's some people that said, it seems to exaggerate, or this. Some people said this can't be real, and I keep telling people it's real. This is my. In fact, the bad thing is this: it's actually worse than this makes it seem because you're only seeing 1 or 2 minutes of it.
Yes.
I have to deal with this 14 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's actually worse than it is because it is every day, all day, and you can't get that sense from just watching 1 hour video. But you're right. A lot of this has been kind of silly response. Having said that, the main response I got, by the way, for people who particularly know me was, "Wow, Jim, you've always told me this is bad, but I didn't realize it was this bad."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I've been trying to tell you this. This is every day, all day. In fact, I don't know if you saw, but Channel 4 local news here did a story on 19th and Nicollet last week, Thursday.
I did not.
And we videotaped 19th and Nicollet. And as soon as we went behind tinted windows and watched the area, there were a half a dozen people openly dealing drugs, and we saw deal after deal. I mean, they just couldn't believe it. It's just in the open every day. I'm like, yeah, that's how bad this is. The city has lost control.
Jim, let's, what might be fun? Let's talk next week after the election.
Well, yeah, we'll see, because if it goes really well, I'm going to definitely want to talk about it. If it goes really bad, I might be hibernating, and I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll find you. We'll track you down. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. His advice: do your homework. Be careful of what you wish for. Watch it. And Republicans, if they're still called Republicans, I don't know if there's a Republican Party anymore. if you're a conservative thinker, you still can do the city a great favor by voting to get rid of the DSA because they're leading us nowhere. I have breaking news. The final nominees are in for the 2025 Golden Turkey Awards from the center of the American experiment.
Well, I wonder who's going to win, Joe.
Nominee number one.
Oh.
Governor Tim Walz racked up a $430,000 legal bill just to prep for one congressional hearing.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I remember that.
About that.
12 years in Congress, and he needed a small army of lawyers and lobbyists. Nominee number two, the Gold Line Bus Depot, a whopping $500 million for $10 million of bus lanes. That's $50 million a meal. A meal? Well, I'm thinking food for
Right.
That's $50 million per mile. The public nominated this one more than any other. Nominee number three, Bloomington's $1 million bathrooms, nearly $1 million in COVID relief funds for modern inclusive restroom, because nothing says vital public service like designer plumbing. And finally, nominee number four, river surfing on the Rum River, $6.2 million diverted from roads to make Anoka, Minnesota, the next surfing hotspot. Hang 10 on the Rum River. Voting opens tomorrow. Help decide which project deserves the 2025 Golden Turkey Award. Visit AmericanExperiment.org and cast your vote. This is the mayor of Garage Logic on Halloween candy. Have you ever thought about the phrase trick or treat? I think this year I'm going to exercise my my franchise there and say, when a kid says trick or treat, money or eat, I'm going to grill the kid. What exactly do you mean? I mean, are you going to do the trick? Do I have the treat? Who has the money? Who's going to eat the stuff? I've been confused about it for a long time, and I think this Halloween there is a time for the older people and the younger people to finally reach some sort of, may I say it, closure on this. This is your mayor, Joe Souchere.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Two people are dead after shooting each other in what was apparently a domestic dispute on St. Paul's North End neighborhood Friday morning. Officers called to the 400 block of Front Avenue about 4:20 this morning on a report of shots being fired. When they got there, they found a man who had been shot multiple times in the torso. Despite first aid, the man was pronounced deceased at the scene. A second victim arrived at a nearby fire station a short time later. He was brought to the hospital where he was also pronounced deceased. Investigators say the shootings appear to have been domestic related, that the two victims knew each other. The men are believed to have shot each other, according to police. The death marks the city's 10th and 11th homicides of the year. At this time last year, St. Paul had 23 homicides. Minneapolis Police Department is denying claims that Chief Brian O'Hara is a finalist for the police chief position in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was reported by an ABC news station in the Charlotte area. A source at City Hall said that Chief O'Hara spoke with Mayor Jacob Fry on Thursday, saying he did not apply for the job. A spokesperson for MPD called the story false and said O'Hara never applied for the job. The chief serves on the board of directors of a police research organization with outgoing Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Chief Johnny Jennings.
Can you blame him?
I was just going to say the same
ready to jump in
thing.
with that too. Yeah, it's okay, O'Hara. You can.
Especially if Fateh gets elected. See you later.
There won't be a police if Fateh gets elected.
We'll have social workers, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do they get guns or?
No.
Oh, no, we can't have that.
Only the bad guys get to have guns.
Gotcha. That's equity.
That's right.
It's now official. Minnesota Rusco has closed its doors.
Woof.
The New Hope Home Improvement Company, known for its jingle, confirmed its closure yesterday, days after a lot of Minnesotans started to suspect the news. Several viewers had reached out to our friends at 5 Eyewitness News, saying they had already paid for projects that are now in limbo. However, it looks like there is a chance people who have paid for an unfinished project can get their money back. 3 years ago, Renovo Home Partners, a Texas company backed by private equity, bought Minnesota Rusco. Eyewitness News spoke with former Minnesota Minnesota Rusco owner Diana Deems, who said, quote, "Our family is sick," and that there was no indication from anyone in the company that was going to happen. Deems also says Renovo Home Partners shut down 6 other big home improvement companies across the country this week without notice. Sean O'Neill is Director of Licensing and Enforcement for the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry. He says anyone impacted shouldn't fret. He said, "It certainly sounds like this has been handled poorly, but I'm confident that many homeowners will get reimbursement." O'Neill says he thinks people will get some of their money back through the DLI's Contractor Recovery Fund. O'Neill says it's something only about a dozen states have, and it doesn't involve any state general fund dollars. He said if any licensee gets money from a homeowner and they just ghost a homeowner, they don't do any of the work, they don't provide any materials, they just skip town, most certainly that would be a reimbursable expense for homeowners. O'Neill says a civil judgment against the licensee is required before a homeowner can submit an application for potential reimbursement. Complaints can also be sent to DLI's Enforcement Services. A spokesman for Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said the AG's office is prepared to help anyone who has suffered financial harm due to Minnesota Rusco's sudden closure. A man accused of killing 4 people and injuring a 5th is now facing additional charges. James Dwayne Ortley has been charged with 1 count of trying to escape from custody, 4 counts of 4th-degree assault on law enforcement, and 1 count of first-degree property damage. Ortley is in custody at Hennepin County Jail in connection with a shooting that killed 4 people and injured 1. He tried to escape apparently on October 22nd. The documents say that Ortley was meeting with what's only being called a professional visitor. As the visitor was leaving, Ortley pushed past that person to get to the public elevator bank. He then grabbed a fire extinguisher off the wall, began breaking the glass on the door that leads to the elevators.
Jeez.
As deputies got to the area, Ortley sprayed the fire extinguisher at and on them, which prevented them from seeing or going into the room to detain him. Once the fire extinguisher was empty, Ortley put it on the ground and yelled, I'm done, and deputies were then able to put him in handcuffs. 5 deputies were treated for inhaling the chemical from the fire extinguisher. Ortley faces 4 counts of second-degree murder, 1 count of attempted second-degree murder, and 1 count of illegal firearm possession in connection with a shooting that we talked about when it happened back on April 30th in Minneapolis. 5 people had been shot, all 5 victims shot in the head. A surviving victim identified the shooter by street names, including Baby J. In previous interviews, Ortley said his street name was Baby James. The victim added that Ortley approached the vehicle the victims were sitting in, shot everyone inside, and ran away. Ortley and some of his family members are associated with the Native Mob gang. Former Minneapolis City Council member charged with DWI earlier this week after crashing into a parked car and refusing to cooperate with law enforcement. 41-year-old Alondra Espejel, you might better know her as Alondra Cano. Remember, she was on the council?
I didn't know she had a council person name and a regular name.
2 different names, yes. She's been charged now with 1 count of 3rd-degree DWI for refusing to submit to a breath test and 1 count of 4th-degree DWI. According to court records, officers were called to the 300 block of 4th Street South after it was reported a woman had crashed into a parked car. The driver of the vehicle that crashed, Espejel, refused to show her ID and tried to drive off. Officers noted her eyes were bloodshot, her speech was slurred, she had difficulty balancing, was unable to follow instructions during field sobriety tests. Witnesses said she was driving erratically before the crash, honking and speeding down the street. The complaint says she was seen pulling out from behind a line of cars, honking her horn, and then crashing into another vehicle.
That's a bad sign, isn't it?
Yes, not good. Why don't we take a quick break here, and we'll have more news after this.
Well, here we are, children. Thank you for attending the extracurricular Halloween Fun Night. I'm Morgan Huey-Wolf-Slattery, here to get you all prepared for Halloween. Now, first of all, we need to dress appropriately. No violent or condescending costumes.
I'm going to be a cowboy with a big hat and 2 6-shooters at my side. I don't think I'll have any ammo, though.
It doesn't matter. A cowboy is just wrong on so many levels. Any others?
Be a secretary.
I want to be a nurse.
cares? Because these are women's jobs? Honestly. Children, there is no trick or treat. Candy is bad for you, and dressing up in inappropriate costumes will give you nightmares. Do not race from house to house. If someone is going slower than you, shine your light ahead and say, "Excuse us, passing on the left." Okay, pretend there's someone in front of you. What do you say?
Hey, hurry up. We got a lot of potential bounty out here.
Oh, children, what do we say on Halloween after ringing the doorbell at a home in our community?
Trick or treat, money or eat. Give me some candy or I'll kick you in the seat. Hey, lady, out with the goods. I ain't got all night.
No, no, no.
Hey, hurry up. Ooh, did we scare ya? Hey, lady, do you have I say good?
No, no, no. We say wellness and equal opportunity.
Wellness and opportunity? I don't even know what that means, you old Baylax. Trick or treat, Morgan. QE. Wolf. Sally. Happy Halloween, you euphorian.
And then Patrick.
Yes, sir. You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
In national news, President Trump said he and Chinese leader Xi Jinping agreed to almost everything in their nearly 2-hour meeting in South Korea, which Trump described as friendly. It was the president's last event after a week of summits, trade talks, and other diplomatic events in the Indo-Pacific. On the flight back to Washington, Trump told reporters traveling with him that he would rate the meeting with Xi on a scale from 0 to 10 with a 12. The decisions that were made included lowering tariffs on Chinese exports from 57% to 47%, which Trump said was because of Xi's commitment to decrease the flow of fentanyl. China will also begin repurchasing soybeans from the U.S. The pause thus far has been detrimental to U.S. farmers. Trump said China's decision from earlier this month to limit exports of rare earth minerals, which he called a roadblock, is now off the table for 1 year. As part of the agreement, the U.S. will also scale back some of its own export restrictions. Federal judge yesterday suggested she'll order the Ag Department to tap emergency funds for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Funding for the program, referred to as food stamps, is poised to lapse tomorrow for the first time since its creation in 1964 amid the federal government shutdown. Democratic officials from 25 states and Washington, D.C. have sued the Ag Department for refusing to tap into a roughly $5 billion contingency fund to sustain SNAP. The Trump administration says that fund is intended for specific emergencies like natural disasters and is insufficient to deliver full November benefits. SNAP costs about $8 billion per month, providing about $190 average monthly payments to about 42 million people. During previous government shutdowns, administrations have issued grace periods and special funding transfers to ensure uninterrupted benefits. Trump administration announcing it would set the lowest refugee admissions cap in U.S. history, allocating just 7,500 spots for this fiscal year, mostly to Afrikaners, who it is claimed are facing racial discrimination in South Africa for being white. The previous lowest refugee ceiling was set by the first Trump administration in 2020 when it allocated 15,000 spots. Afrikaners are an ethnic group of South Africans made up of descendants of European settlers and colonists, mostly from the Netherlands, who first arrived there in the 1600s. The Trump administration welcomed the first group of Afrikaners granted refugee status in May. The South African government has denied that Afrikaners and other white South Africans are being persecuted, and numbers seem to back up the claim of the government. Before the 1990s, white South Africans enforced the system of apartheid over the country's black majority. FBI Director Kash Patel says a potential terrorist attack allegedly targeting Halloween weekend in Michigan has been thwarted by the FBI this morning. In a social media post, Patel said multiple people have been arrested. A spokesperson for the FBI field office in Detroit told CBS that FBI agents were in the cities of Dearborn and Inkster on Friday conducting law enforcement activities. They would offer no additional information on the investigation, but said there is now no current threat to public safety. A law enforcement source said that 2 teenagers were arrested and others are being questioned in connection with the alleged foiled attack. King Charles III has stripped his younger brother, Prince Andrew, of all titles and honors and is evicting him from his royal residence, Buckingham Palace, revealed yesterday.
That's going to be a tough Thanksgiving, huh?
Well, it won't be because he won't even be invited.
True.
Prince Andrew, now who will be referred to only as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, will move from Royal Lodge to...
Oh, my violin is out. I'm playing.
will move from the Royal Lodge to the family's private 20,000-acre Sandringham estate in Norfolk.
I call that landing on your feet.
That's like the tower. Huh? You're right.
You know. The announcement comes amid renewed scrutiny over Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and resurfaced allegations of abuse. Earlier this month, the estate of Virginia Giuffre published her memoir in which she accused Andrew of having sex with her 3 times while underage. Emails from 2011 also reemerged, indicating Andrew's relationship with Epstein continued after he claimed it had ended.
Those are nice digs. I'm being shown the digs where he's going to be
shown the
imprisoned.
various proproperties where Andrew will have to wallow in suffering.
Poor guy. I mean, should we pass a hat?
Is he Chuck's brother?
Yeah, younger brother.
Yeah.
So Chuck's last name is
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten Windsor?
Yeah.
The last royal, if you're wondering, to be stripped of a prince or princess title was Ernest Augustus in 1919. They had a pretty good reason for dumping Ernest. He sided with the Germans in World War I.
Ooh.
Didn't work out for him.
Well, what happened when Grace, or the princess, left?
I think, didn't she just do
Princess
it herself?
Grace?
No, I mean, when one of the royals left to get married. And,
that was the king.
Oh, the king.
Well, the next in line to become king, and he fell for this
Va-va-voom?
No, but she could haunt a house. I don't know what he saw.
Oh, maybe her inner heart.
Maybe they had a no kings protest, and then that's what led to turmoil.
Who was she? You know the name.
Princess Mildred.
No.
Queen Mildred.
She must have been a siren because he
that's
fell.
Unkind. That's very unkind.
He fell for it.
Undefeated.
Well, that's undefeated. Even cost you the kingship,
Yeah.
How'd you lose that? Well, here's the deal.
She was an American divorcee.
King Edward VIII.
And that they didn't go for that.
To marry Wallace Simpson, an American divorcee.
Wallace Simpson. And she was,
Wait. He signed the instrument of abdication.
Yeah, but he was half in the bag all the time anyway and probably thought she looked good.
Got it.
So he fell for a gal named Wallace?
Yep. That's a tip-off. On your no-go zone, that's right above 8 hot and 7 normal.
Tiffany, your redheads, your strippers.
Yeah.
Does anybody here use YouTube TV? YouTube?
I do not.
I did for a very brief moment in time years ago and said, this is the worst television service I have ever had.
I may have by accident.
I think Kenny may have it.
Yeah.
I think he just got it. But they have all Disney content has gone dark on YouTube TV.
That was not received well on social media yesterday, John.
Why, John?
Well, they can't agree on licensing deals.
I see.
Now, Disney content, of course, means a lot more than Disney. It means ESPN. It means ABC. It means a lot of stuff. They own a lot of stuff. Let's put it that way.
Oh, and that's strictly on YouTube?
Yes.
YouTube TV.
No, not YouTube, but YouTube TV.
YouTube TV.
Okay.
The college football fans are not going to be happy about that tomorrow.
Yeah, it could affect college football. It could affect NBA, NFL, and news and entertainment. So,
but not tonight's World Series game.
No,
that's a Fox. That's a Fox deal.
Because this has been one hell of a World Series.
I secretly want the Dodgers to win tonight just so we get a game.
That's
7.
just because you like baseball so much. You want one more game.
I want to cheer against the Dodgers 2 more times.
Yeah,
not just 1 more time.
John, thank you.
Rook, how did the royal family? How did they arrive?
Yes, by steamboat. They had their dental problem. Yes. Rise up the hill.
It's Fun Friday. I
Mr.
get a little
Mountbatten.
I get a little leash on Fun Friday.
Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. Yes, I strip you of your royalties.
May we...
And I send you to a lifetime of warming chestnuts on an open fire.
Have you ever had those, by the way?
I have not, sir, my good man.
When you think of them... what do you think of when you bite into a chestnut that's been roasted on an open fire? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's...
I was hoping to get the English guy.
Oh, yes, of course, I must stay in. It's supposed to soften the chestnut, but it doesn't always work, which is why we all have crooked teeth.
Well, that was my big shock.
Yes.
Having chestnuts from the fire there overseas. They're soft. I thought they'd crunch.
Oh, what a fool you are!
Yes.
You must be having a laugh.
Yes, I did. I didn't like them, is what I'm saying.
And did you picture them to be on a cobblestone street with a cart that didn't have any? It was a spoked steel wheel.
Can you take a break?
Did not have good suspension.
He's rolling.
Right.
Yes.
Here we go.
I digress.
Goodbye. Hi, Joe Souchere here, the mayor of Garage Logic, once again addressing the youth of Gumption County on some matters regarding Halloween. Who are the late kids? Who are the kids that arrive past, say, 9 p.m.? We've wondered about this in Gumption County for years and years and years. You just get all your stuff settled, everything's put away, the porch light's off, and... Oh, for God's sake, do you have to scare me in the middle of a public service announcement? This is your mayor, Joe Souchere, speaking on behalf of Halloween.
Wrong button. Let's do this.
Oh, God, help What's his name? Vladimir Guerrero?
Junior.
Pat, I didn't know Junior signed for almost as much money as Owatonna.
Oh, no. He only got, 300?
500. 500.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I didn't know. He's worth it. He's pretty good.
I hope they win, man. It's fun.
Oh, I do too.
Trump put on his social media account that he's not inviting either team to his White House.
Really?
And he thinks the mob runs baseball. And I would love to have had a chance to say to Don, nothing says fix like an 18-inning game.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. So what? He doesn't want an L.A. team, right?
Apparently not, because that's California.
He doesn't like L.A. and then he doesn't like Canada either. So I also think he probably was not overwhelmed with an invite to come and throw out a first ball either. Wasn't there some rumor he was going to come to L.A. or something? But
that I'm unaware of. But the more he stays away from baseball, the quieter it could be.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah, it's fine. There'll be Jack tonight, man.
That's a good baseball town when they're a hot team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, they've always, even when they're not great, they draw okay, but they're nuts now. And I'll tell you what, when you lose an 18 and then come back and win the next two, that shows you some spunk.
On the road, they did that.
On the road, that's true.
I think in the whole world of sports, the home team advantage does not exist.
You don't think so?
Not like it used to.
Not like it used to.
Not as big. My theory is all these guys grow up and they're playing, on the road when they're 12 years old now on the all-star games and all that stuff like that. They're going to showcases all over the country. They're not as intimidated as they used to be. That Blake Snell, though, man, he's got sad eyes, doesn't he?
Yep.
He's got sad eyes. He's really got sad eyes.
They're almost raccoon-like.
Yeah, so when he got one like a 3-hitter, he's making millions, and he gets pitches 7 scoreless innings, he's still got sad eyes.
Right.
I don't know what the deal is. So
how about that rookie that pitched for
Saj, or however you pronounce his name?
However you say his name.
Johnny Heidt, you're a baseball guy. How does that pitch go 55 feet and then go straight down? That's what I want to.
It almost looks like when a little kid throws the ball and it just runs out of oomph.
Yeah, it runs right into a whoop.
Yeah.
It's the damnedest thing. You know what it should be? A lesson for all baseball teams is if a guy's really good, get him to the big leagues. Stop screwing around. Have him go to, he's got to go to Double-A, and then he blows out his arm, and then he's out for 2 years. Get him, if he's good enough, get him to big leagues. I want Walker Jenkins in the starting outfield for the Twins next year. The hell with it.
With brand new manager Derek Shelton.
What do you think of the new manager?
I think that Joe Pohlad made him fire Rocco Falvey, and he didn't want to. but they let him rehire Rocco. Shelton is the same guy. They were best buddies when they were here. Him and Shelton, and older guy. He certainly wasn't hired on his winning percentage in Pittsburgh.
No, 5 straight losing years.
Yes, and this year with the best pitcher in baseball, maybe the second best, but Paul Skeens. They ended up he got fired early.
It was in May. It was in May.
40, 50 games into the season, but he had a run there. He's a character. He's a good guy, but I don't know if I don't know who they could have hired that would have gotten the public off their back. So Torrey Hunter, but Torrey's got no background to be a manager. He was a candidate, but really not. So I don't know what they could have done.
Pat, I did see a great post that said, since the franchise is somewhat of a joke right now, Derek Shelton should hire Rocco as his bench coach.
Yeah, that could be the other way around. Rocco was supposedly a candidate in Washington, but they hired Blake Butera, Sal's 33-year-old nephew.
Wow, really?
Youngest manager in baseball since Frank Quillisi was hired to replace Bill Rigney in 1972 when Calvin gave us the greatest explanation ever for hiring a manager. He fired Rigney because attendance was going to hell, and he fired Billy. He fired Billy in 69, and that's when Calvin said, "I guess the fans want an Italian." That's how Frank got the job. It didn't go quite through the intellectual basis there. He figured, we'll hire an Italian. Everybody likes Frank, and he thought the reason they liked Billy was because he was Italian, not because he was nuts.
And Frank's brother was a big caller, right, for Sports Talk?
He called.
Frank's brother called often.
No, he called Larry King.
Oh, that's right.
Bill Quillisi.
Bill Quillisi.
Bill Quillisi.
My brother Bill. But then we got Bill on our show, right?
We had Bill on.
Okay.
Larry, I've been eating lead chips. You sound bad.
Bill was the Q man the first? Was Harrington's Q man our first ever caller?
I believe that the Q-Man was pretty early in the lineup,
Yeah, he might have been the first. The Q-Man. Yeah. The Q-Man was great. Yeah, he was always happy. We didn't start till 80, so he'd already been long fired. But hello, my greatest prank, and I'm going to say it here.
Yeah.
And don't mispronounce it, anybody, but my greatest prank taunt ever was he's about 5 minutes from the first pitch of his first broadcast in Seattle, and the pitcher was Rick Honeycutt.
Oh, no.
And I went in there and said, "Whatever you do, Frank, don't call him Honey."
Oh, my God.
Planting the seed.
Did the Q-Man then never say his name at all?
Frank.
Rick H.
Call him Mr. H.
Honey cut.
Oh, my God, Patrick.
I love it.
That was very mean-spirited of you.
That was really bad, wasn't it? Yeah. But Frank was the announcer, that every and the Cubs still have that with like Coom Dog. They have Pat Hughes as the professional and Coom just being goofy, and that Frank filled that role on our broadcast. So back in the day.
Do we have any hope for a football victory this weekend from anybody?
Gophers should win.
Michigan State's not any good, but I'll tell you though, Joe, you go back to last Thursday. The sports in Minnesota over the last several days have not been good. You go back to the Vikings humiliation, followed by the Gophers humiliation, followed by every time the hockey team goes on their ice, their humiliation, down by the Timberwolves humiliation of losing to the Lakers without any of their players. And then last night, not only do the Wild lose again, but the Gopher hockey team gets beat 4-1 in Wisconsin, and they had 16 shots in 3 periods. And somebody from Wisconsin had the first hat trick against the Gophers by a Badger since 1986.
Oh boy!
So it's been bad. It's been a bad week for Minnesota sports.
Pat, I'm not going to panic on the Wild yet, but the next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving, and by Thanksgiving, you got to know.
Oh yeah, that's true. And I heard Reusse on another station the other day, and he's Mr. Positive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was blasting them, including the Reusse.
Mm-hmm.
Too many giveaways. Too many giveaways, he's saying, for the Reusse. And last night I watched the first period, and then I switched to something else, and I was shocked to come back and find out they were losing 3-1. They ended up getting beat 4-1.
Yeah, I watched them sink into oblivion there, too.
What are they? 1 win in the last 9 games, right? They got 3 of those goofy ties, but I think they've only won 1 out of 9. That ain't good.
They're not taking advantage of a long home streak here, too.
No. And I did turn on the Timberwolves game against the Lakers, and in the third quarter, it sounded like Kurt Rambis was still coaching, and they were winning 12 games a year. It was absolute silence in that arena in the third quarter. So, yeah, they got issues too. So,
Pat, what are you going to be for Halloween?
Big fat guy with a bad leg.
Okay.
With a bad
It's
knee.
pretty close to home, isn't
What are we
it?
handing out? What are we handing out at the Reusse household?
I think the ultimate laziness was the bride ordered her candy through Amazon.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. But I did see dots up there.
Oh, there you go.
A couple of the packs of the dots have already been putting in.
Here, kid, here's all the red ones.
Don't worry about the tape job on them. It's okay.
Right.
And there's some Chuckles up there, too, so I'm definitely taking the red ones out of the Chuckles.
Chuckles are pretty good.
Chuckles and dots, man. You can't beat it.
Okay.
But, that's also hard. I mean, you just can't eat more than, 2 packs of Chuckles a week, because that goes right goes right to your heart. It's sugar covered, and God Almighty, even a guy like me has got to restrain himself on the Chuckles, for God's sake.
Pat, I got to share this with you very quickly. The 13, soon to be 14-year-old is getting really into the 30 for 30s on ESPN. So last night, he was watching the SMU one.
Oh yeah,
where they're talking about what was the coach's name again? He went to New England. But anyway, just talking about every scam that they were trying to pull over to recruit every kid.
They had the governor. Bill Clemens was the governor and also the head of the board.
Right.
And the main guy to approve all the cheating, which, by the way, is now not cheating.
Right, which now is legal. But Pat, the best part about this is I got to tell the Galloway story because he's featured in this 30 for 30, and I just went, well, you could still drink beer.
What's Randy doing these days?
He's retired. He made so damn much money on the radio, he didn't know what to do with it. He said, he gave it up, and finally gave up sports writing and just was on the radio down there. And he had a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
When in doubt, talk Cowboys.
I just love that story. Well, Patrick, you could still drink beer.
Yeah, he picked me up at the airport. I was going to Texas A&M with him, and he had his usual 12-pack of Lone Star Long Necks in the back. He said, grab us a couple of beers. I said, Randy, I just went through 30 days in alcoholism treatment. And he said, you can still drink a beer. What the hell? I said, I think I'll pass now.
Yeah. I'll talk to you Monday.
All righty. See ya.
Very good. Thank you.
Oh, my God. I love that story.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, what comes right before Part B?
Part A.
He's got a bandana on.
Is that all one shirt?
Harmony Spirits is here for all of you GLers, whether you're in the party mode or Part B mode, it doesn't matter. Rook, get this.
Pumpkin spice.
Today is National Caramel Apple Day. At Harmony Spirits, they've got you covered. Stop in for a taste caramel apple cocktail on a ready-to-drink, or a ready-to-drink caramel apple or any of their delicious cocktails. They have the caramel apple spirits. I don't know if that's a retail product or if you got to go into the Harmony Spirits tasting room. Either way, man, that looks really festive. Larry, if you're listening to this, which I know you usually do, why don't you set aside one of those little bottles for your buddy Reavers? But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. That tasting room is going to be open and festive all weekend long. They also are going to be featured at the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester tomorrow for the local feast that's happening tomorrow at the Rochester Civic Center. But all sorts of great, cool fall events happening right there. And also that rotating fall menu of craft cocktails.
Rick Honeycutt. Welcome, Rick Honeycutt.
I don't want you to screw this up. That's karma. That is absolute karma for me.
Karma, yes.
But check out their Facebook page. Harmony Spirits Distillery is on their Facebook page, and they do a really good job of updating all of their events and whatnot. But go into your local liquor store. Continue to ask for the Harmony brand by name. That's truly how they are going to get you guys to help them out and expand their brand. But thank them for sponsoring the Garage Logic podcast. And Joe, before you begin, I must play this public service announcement. It's a big weekend here.
Carl, go ahead, please.
Yeah, they went into the nursing home, in the Al's room at the nursing home. And
who went in? What now? I'm sorry. Who went into a nursing home?
Well, the nurse.
Okay.
Went in to check on Al at the nursing home, and he was taking the shoe polish and putting it all over his swimsuit area. And the nurse said, "No, Al, you heard it wrong. They said turn the clocks back."
So don't forget.
That will never not be funny.
Is that tomorrow?
Saturday night into Sunday.
I didn't hear this
tomorrow.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
And by the way, the absolute worst night ever outside of St. Patrick's Day to bartend was when we turned the clocks back.
Why?
Well, I guess it's only 1 o'clock now. We're open for another. No, it's time to shut the bar down. Go home.
We're done.
Time for you to go home now, buddy.
Closing time.
Only because they come to us all the way from the traveling Lymans. Now, get this. It was 13 years ago today, on Halloween 2012, that Tom Lyman retired after selling everything they owned. He and...
Wow.
His wife.
Yeah. To begin Jessica.
Yes.
Isn't it? To begin our world journey. Tonight we celebrate another blissful year of world travel, grateful for every mile and every step along the way. And they're in Gran Canaria, Canary Islands. Huh. Man, what a deal.
What a shirt.
It was on this day.
Joe, today is Halloween, October 31st.
Well, on Halloween in 1872, Augsburg College was dedicated in Minneapolis.
Really?
Yeah. It was on this day.
October 31.
Jess.
Huh?
Jess.
Yeah, Jess. 1903. Minnesota. I knew it was Jessica.
I just wanted to verify. Their name tags are back there, so that's why I wanted to make sure it was
Jessica.
Yeah. Short, and then Jessica, Jess would be short for Jessica.
Thank you. On this day in 1903.
On October 31st.
Well, sure, on Halloween in 1903, a Minnesota-Michigan football game ended 6-6, declaring a moral victory over the favored Michigan team. We still do that. The Gophers claimed for their trophy a water jug accidentally left behind by the Michigan trainer. The little brown jug became a symbol of the team's rivalries.
That was cool when Grimmer brought that in that morning after, or the Monday after they beat Michigan. That's the only time I've ever seen it.
So initially, the little brown jug did belong to Michigan.
That's right.
Okay.
And it was a water jug.
I didn't know that.
It's a water jug.
I knew that.
Became a trophy.
In 1920, on this day,
October 31.
In 1920, Anoka began earning its reputation as the Halloween capital of the world by holding its first planned celebration of the holiday. Well, it's not really a holiday, is it?
Oh, sure.
No, you still go to work on Halloween.
Oh, true.
Traditional events included a parade, a football game, and get this, a 5K gray ghost run. So running was a thing even in 1920?
Jogging?
Yeah. I thought running was kind of a modern thing.
I thought so, too.
I mean, I know people ran. It goes all the way back to the Olympics.
Jesse Owens.
Spartacus and the whole deal. Spartacus.
Running's a new thing.
Well, no, you know what I mean. The 5K,
like a turkey trot.
I guess they're older than I thought.
Yeah.
It was on this day,
October 31st,
in 1991. The Halloween blizzard began. That's 34 years ago.
And you were out of town? Is that right?
No, I was in town.
Oh, I thought that's when she had to call you for the
No, that was
snowstorm.
many other snowfalls.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the
A
Halloween
record snowfall of 24 to 36 inches blanketed the area from Duluth to the Twin Cities. It was the state's largest recorded snowfall in a single storm.
Woo!
And again, most of it did not fall on Halloween.
True, it happened the next day.
Yeah, the next day and the day after that. Then the winds howled, and the next thing you know, you weren't going to the store.
Oh, just hunkered down.
Yeah.
Have your Harmony spirits ready to go.
Ready to rumble.
I must have had inventory because
you were taken care
I
of.
was all right,
Joe, AI agrees with you about this 5K thing.
Thank you, John.
It says the 70s is when it actually started being called 5K.
I apologize.
There were Olympic running events, the 5,000 meters, which is approximately 5K, but nobody ever called it that.
Yeah.
And it was, for the Olympics. It wasn't for, say, me and you and Chris and Rook to go run a 5K.
That's right. So Anoka was ahead of the curve.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Our guy. Who was our guy? Who was a runner? Zamperini.
Louis
Zamperini.
What about him?
He was a runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
On this day in sports disappointment history.
Don't you remember that story?
I do, Matt.
Okay.
I do.
Noted.
Yeah. Noted. I got noted.
Yeah.
It was noted.
Reply all. Joe just replied all.
To this day, I told you, I look at food on the street and ask myself, would Louis eat that?
Would he eat chestnuts?
Yes, he would have.
Softened by the fire?
That's right.
Okay.
On this day in sports disappointment history,
October 31.
In 1936, Gophers' undefeated season was ruined by phantom unnecessary roughness penalty, giving PSU the ball on the one, and the Gophers lost 6-0. Is that Penn State, I wonder?
But they weren't.
Why would they have been playing Penn State in 1936?
They weren't in the conference back then.
PSU,
non-conference.
Anybody in the Big Ten with a Purdue State University?
No, it would have just been University of Purdue.
I don't know who that would have been.
I'm not sure either. Well, it probably was Penn State. You know what? Maybe it was a non-conference game then.
That could have been.
On this day.
I know John's typing feverishly to look it up.
On this day.
I've given up. I'm not.
Yeah, it's Penn State in the 30s. PSU,
State,
they were called.
yeah.
Yep.
On this day,
October 31.
in 2001, so on Halloween in 2001, Carl Pohl had denied that he asked for a buyout from other team owners, and he denied offering the team for contraction.
Ooh, he wasn't telling the truth.
On this day,
October 31,
Halloween in 2004, one of the great idiots of all time, Latrell Sprewell, declined the Timberwolves' offer of $21 million, saying, "I have a family to feed."
He had to put food on his family.
If I'm not mistaken,
what a moron!
He didn't play after that.
His career just kind of spiraled.
No, I mean, I don't think anyone else even offered him a contract after that.
John's feverishly looking that up.
No, I think Chris is right. I agree. I think that's exactly what happened.
On this day,
October 31.
Again, Halloween.
Yes, sir.
In 2010, after losing to the Patriots, Randy Moss got emotional in a press conference about how much he misses them. That makes no sense. Misses the Vikings?
No, misses the Patriots.
Misses the Patriots.
They got beat by the Patriots in Foxborough. Moss went up to the podium, not even asked to be there, and just pretty much laid into the entire franchise.
Which franchise?
The Vikings.
Why had he already played for the Patriots?
Yes, and he came back to the Vikings for his second stint.
Oh.
And he was not a big fan of Brad Childress.
Yeah, I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
What year was Latrell's deal?
2004.
Oh yeah, he was done in 2005.
Didn't he go to Milwaukee? I think he
Golden
did.
State, New York Knicks, and then the Timberwolves, and that was it.
No, I don't think he played anywhere else after
He was
here.
born in Milwaukee. Maybe that's what you're thinking.
Oh, I know. He kept a boat in Milwaukee.
Got it.
He had a yacht.
Nice boat.
But he had to feed his family.
Did he have a wheel shop or something, Chris?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, something
Wheels?
like that. Yeah.
On this day,
Joe, today is October 31.
Halloween on this day.
Yes, sir.
In 2015, there was a Gopher, Michigan goal line debacle with 30 seconds left. I don't know what resulted from that, nor do I really think we need to know.
No.
And finally, on this day,
A lengthy sports one on October 31.
well, Halloween,
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
in 2018, the term general soreness was used to excuse why Jimmy Butler wasn't playing for the
General
Timberwolves.
soreness.
I have that every day.
General soreness / hates our franchise.
General soreness.
Oh, man.
We can't use Jimmy today.
I think that's why Kenny's gone today.
He has general soreness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spreewell, I would agree with his comment. He's got 9 kids.
Yeah.
So he did
But
have a fame.
does he know where they're located?
I do not know.
He's got what they call summer kids.
Some are kids, some aren't.
Some are here, some are there.
Yeah.
Oh, in 2007, his $1.5 million yacht was repossessed by a federal marshal. He'd failed to continue paying for and insuring the vessel, which he repeatedly still owed $1.3 million. He was living too high on the hog.
Well, he had to feed his family.
He had upstart on his, what's the phrase we used last week? Hoisted on his own Qatar.
Oh, shoot. I had a great email from...
Posted while he was in Qatar.
We can't leave unless you hear this.
Okay.
It's from Billy Stein, and I'm chagrined.
Roasted on his own
I hope I still have it here.
Qatar.
Let me look. I'm as quickly as I
Once
can.
knew a man named Lamar.
Oh, maybe this is it over here.
Yeah.
This pile.
Oh, he's hoisted his guitar.
Hoisted his guitar.
Yes. And he performed in front of Shohei Ohtani.
Did it from afar.
Okay, I'll find it, or Bill will resend it to me.
Look over by the jar.
I don't have it right here, so
It shouldn't be very far.
I'll find it.
Joe's looking for a noose because I'm talking like Dr. Seuss.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
I can tell you exactly what's wrong
I can
with
tell you.
You're a child at heart. That's part of your
That's what makes you so lovable.
your spirit.
Yeah. And hateable.
And it's Halloween.
Yeah.
And you haven't changed in all your life. So you're 8 years old, and this is Halloween, and you're just excited as hell.
Do you think that you're giving me information that I didn't know it was Halloween today?
No, I realize you understand this.
I
but
have another question. Please tell me you wore that to the airport today.
I took a day off from the airport today.
He took a day off for Halloween.
Day off for Halloween. Yep.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm
here.
I can tell you
Look.
what you are here. Bleep.
Starts with a letter.
Why are you such a...
Anywho's, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button on the Garage
You have a
Logic
pumpkin?
YouTube
Katie,
channel.
get down here. You got to see these guys' eyeballs there. He looks like an owl. Whoever your baseball guy is.
He's critiquing. Is he critiquing the costumes
Katie, you
at
gotta
home?
see this guy. Hey, break some dots.
Hey, with the bad wheel, too. How long has it taken him to get out of the chair because he's been watching baseball, go gather the dish?
Well, plus he might be watching baseball down a flight of steps.
Oh.
Katie, I'll have a sandwich and a glass of milk.
Yeah, you know what to do. Subscribe.
Yeah.
You have a
YouTube.
pumpkin?
Yes.
They're carving at 3. Didn't you hear?
3 o'clock. Coming by. This kid's got a major, he's got a big, ugly-ass pumpkin.
Joe, you want to head over to the
Thank you, John
Mikulski
David
household?
from Grant.
Oh, come on. We could have a team event carving pumpkins.
It's gonna be fun.
Backyard fire?
Halloweeny.
Backyard fire?
No,
Oh, you got
some
it.
tiki torches in the front.
Gabe, don't drink the tiki torch oil.
Yep.
Hey, Garage Logicians, stick around for a preview of American Experiment's latest podcast with Grace Keating and Katherine Johnson. This week, we're discussing the communist influence on the weekend's No Kings protest, rising teachers' union dues to support radical left-wing politics, and Governor Walz's comments on his role in Minnesota's fraud epidemic. On the back half, Grace and I get to know the newest hire at Upper Midwest Law Center, the highly accomplished Rachel Paulos. Well, let's get into some of the news. I mean, the main thing is the No Kings protests happened over the weekend. One of the things we found interesting here at American Experiment is these protests were sponsored by the Communist Party of the United States. True, as John Phelan writes on our website, true enough, communists do not like kings. They prefer dictators. But I would suggest life under Charles III is infinitely preferable to life under Stalin or Mao or any of the other monsters who comprise the history of communism and government, with a total of 100 million deaths between them. And then he makes a good point that I always think about, which is, can you imagine if there was a right-wing event and it said that it was sponsored by the United States Nazi Party? It's not that much different. Communism has killed, as he says, 100 million plus people. It's a horrible, brutal, terrible way of governing a society. And it's something that now is propped up by the left and mainstreamed.
Yeah. If this was a right-wing protest that was sponsored, like you say, by the Nazi Party, every single Republican politician from our state level to our federal level would have to answer for this, would have to answer for every bad sign, and we'll get into some of them, would have to answer for every chant, would have to answer for every sponsor. And I think it's time we demand the same of our Democratic politicians. Do you condone this? Do you condone some of these signs we'll get into?
It's just another example of the far left influence on democratic politics. I think a lot of people attend things like these No Kings protests in good faith, completely expressing their opinions, of course, but not anything super radical. I think that was many people there. But when it comes to the leadership of the Democratic Party and the people on the left, they're radicals. They're extremely radical, and you can see that in the influence of things like the Communist Party, the Socialist Party. Some socialist group was also a sponsor of this. Those are radical ideas. And so I hope that Minnesotans realize that when they're supporting even just a protest like this No Kings thing, that sounds very innocuous, there is a much bigger agenda there, and the money is coming from people with much wider and harsher goals in mind for America.
That was a quick preview of the content you'll find on the American Experiment podcast. Come check out the rest of our conversation at americanexperiment.org/podcast or by searching American Experiment Podcast on YouTube or any major podcasting platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday afternoon. See you soon.
I'm Mike King from the podcast Profiling Evil, a place where true crime meets behavioral science. I spent my career investigating serial predators and studying the psychology behind them. Here, we don't just talk about what criminals did. We explore why they do what they do. We expose manipulation and control, look at how offenders select their victims, and uncover the ways that they try to avoid detection. You can find Profiling Evil on your favorite podcast platform.